Alright, if you've made it to this video, we've got a serious problem. We need to have a serious talk because you clearly think that you are going to build tunes and have a good time with it and win, and you're going to be Pegasus. And I'm here to tell you that that is 100% not going to fucking happen. You're going to build tunes, you're going to think this deck looks sick, which it does, and then you're going to take it to locals and people are going to wipe their asses with you. But there is like a 15 to 17% chance that you're going to cheese out some wins here and there, and you're going to do it in style. So if you are here for that 15 to 17%, then this is absolutely the video for you. I personally a huge fan of tunes, completely in love with the archetype. It's a classic. I've got obviously pieces here. Huge fan of Pegasus, so I thought it'd only be appropriate just to have it all in the background. But yeah, this is my tune deck profile that I just played. This is a going second variant. I think I'm going to try going first stun version, just so we can see the difference, or I can at least try them out in person. But online testing, this deck was actually doing quite well. And then from my replays that I just posted, not saying I played it as optimally as I could, but there was just a lot of brick hands, and some things just didn't go over as well. The deck just didn't perform as well as I wanted it to, and that's just the name of the game. You gotta crank and try stuff out. But this is my current rendition of a going second variant on tunes. So 40 card main, 3 of the Blackstone of Legend. This is your normal summon to tutor out Red Eyes Toon Black Dragon. I'm running 3 just because you don't really run any normal summons on, and he's essentially one of your most optimal play starters. And he can also recycle Red Eyes in the graveyard if he's in the graveyard as well. He returns himself to the hand and puts a Red Eyes back in deck. But you can't activate both effects in one turn, so it's one or the other, but he does give you resource management. Playing 1 Toon Harpy Lady and 1 Toon Cannon Soldier. You don't really, I mean, I was playing Toon Mermaids as discard fodder and rank 4 engine enablers, but as of right now, these are the only 2 that I'm running with. If you're going for like a more going first stun variant, maybe Toon Mermaids are a more viable option because they give you more bodies on board, which allow you to access things like Dweller, Tornado Dragon. I don't know, the rank 4 toolbox is so generic that theoretically you want to play at least 2 so you have access to it. You don't really use your extra deck all that much, and if you do, there's one card that I make more than anything. But I had obviously back row disruption for with Harpy Lady, and then the theory behind the Toon Cannon Soldier actually did come up in my in-person play and a lot of times on online testing. But if you have a 4 board established but you can't attack for game, he's such a good game closer, especially if you have 2, 3, 4 monsters on field. That burn damage actually comes in quite handy. So he's just a good game clincher, and kind of fits the Toon theme of just cheesy wins. 1 Toon Cyber Dragon, just for mega fleeting out your opponent's extra deck monster. Nothing crazy, I mean, you don't have to play him, but he is a really good way to tutor out against Appaloosas and odd cards like that. We're playing 2 of the Red Eyes Toon Dragon, best worst card in the deck. If he's in your hand, he typically just sits there, unless you discard him with like Dark Magician, but he can special summon any Toon monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is really nice. But yeah, 2 seems to be pretty standard for the ratio here, and then follow them up. 2 Toon Dark Magician. I've seen a couple versions playing 3, that way if you open up a Redstone of Legend and a Toon Dark Magician, you can get out the Red Eyes, special summon your Dark Magician with Red Eyes' effect, and then go from there. So if you play 3 of this, you have a higher chance of opening up, you know, Stone, and a way to tutor this out, and then access to Dark Magician. So that's another option as well if you want to play 3, go for it. And that's it for the level 7s, but these are typically the 2, I mean, between the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes, you're typically getting quite a few of them out, at least 2 of them out. We are playing 3 Blackluster. Check that, I got a no name. Sorry. This is definitely like the best new boss monster for support. You can either banish 1 card on the field, or is it your opponent's side? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just 1 card on the field, and you can banish it. You can't attack the turn and use that effect, but its removal effect can be very nasty, especially if you have other monsters set up to poke. You can just kind of keep him in defense, or just, I mean, yeah, you just keep banishing, and it's, they have to prioritize getting rid of this on top of, like, the Toon Kingdom. He does special summon himself out by tributing monsters that are level 8 Toon monsters that are up to level 8, so if you special summon one out with like Page Flip, banish something, and you have one in your hand, you can then tribute the one on the field for the one in your hand and either banish another card or attack with it. So he does bring himself out, and he gets rid of bricky Toon cards in your hand, but more times than not, you're special summoning with Page Flip or Dark Magician. But he is a much needed addition to the deck just to give us some aggression. Since this is a going second variant, we were playing like a Kaiju-ish package, one of the Humongous and one Radiant, just in case we open 2, I can drop a lower one, the lower attack point, to my opponent and give myself the higher attack position one, which definitely came up in my Numron Eldritch matchup, so it was nice that that theory actually tested out well. They are level 7s to help fit with the rank 7 theme, so if you give one to your opponent, you special summon one, or if you Kamakan the other one back, the one that you gave your opponent, you have a level 7 to initiate your rank 7 plays. And then one Pinkertops, just a fantastic going second card, and it happens to be a level 7, so synergy. The best hand trap that never fucking works. You Nibiru your opponent while they're trying to go off, and then you Kamakan the token back. Token turns into a Toon monster, you can just poke directly for game. It's so stupid, it's so cheesy. But I didn't get to drop one rock on anybody Tuesday. Ended up having to get, everyone made me go first. It was so shitty. But the online testing proved to be fantastic with it, but it just, I mean, the 4 matches that I played Tuesday just didn't work out. 3 Toon Kingdom. Herd of cards pretty good in the deck. 3 Toon Table of Contents. It's your generic Rhoda. 2, just kidding. 3 Toon Bookmark. It's your other generic Rhoda of the deck. And just adds the consistency that we need and protects Toon Kingdom. Being able to search Kamakan is also kind of nasty. Like, Snatch Steal is obviously banned, but for some reason this deck has it at 3. This deck also kind of sucks, so it's okay. 3 Toon Page Flip. Look at this, like, this is the worst mismatching set I've ever seen. I've got like 1 collector English rare, 1 no name regular rarity, and then I ordered this one and I didn't realize it was fucking Spanish, so now I have a collector's rare Spanish Page Flip. So if anyone's got a nastier playset than this, please let me know, because I don't think one exists. It's absolutely disgusting. We were playing 3 of the Shocker, best art in the deck. Yeah, 3 of the Kamakan, very good card. If you're playing a going first variant, you can probably drop it down to 2, but 3's, I mean, it's arguably like one of the best cards in the deck. 2 Extravagance, you don't really use your extra deck. I mean, everything in the extra deck is utility, but you'd rather draw 2 cards. And then a Terraforming, just to maximize that consistency on Toon Kingdom. If you draw into this and your searchers, you can use this, and obviously use your searcher, like your Toon Table of Contents and Toon Bookmark, to get other more important cards as opposed to having to waste it on Toon Kingdom. So it just gives you another name for it. And then we are playing 3 evenly matched just because we are blinding second, and having a blowout card that can fuck your opponent's field is super nice. You're definitely not going to OTK with, I mean, you can OTK with this deck, but it's so situational. You kind of have to open up like Titty City, and your opponent has to have the right board established. It can be done, but I wouldn't bank on OTKing, so it's better just to have a blowout for a turn, set up your board, start banishing whatever they have left with your BL. I mean, there's just way more optimal plays, and if you can go like +3 or 4 with an evenly matched, then all day. So that's the main deck, Sin at 40. Like I said, the extra is all utility, but nothing's like mandatory. 1 Link Kribo, Barricade Board, Blocker, protects your field spell, and 1 Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. All of these, I mean, again, can be made late game if you're really trying to protect your field spell, or if you need to add them back. Gives you plays to get your Blackstone a Legend in the graveyard, or if you need to make it. I actually use this to get rid of a Lost World token, so, I mean, there's that too. And then BLS is just like one of the best generic big bodies that you can make. So he's just kind of there for if you need him. And then the 1 Chimera Tech for Toon Cyber Dragon. For the rank 4s, we've got 1 Dweller, Digesto Emerald, Tornado Dragon, Utopia, and then the Lightning to play over the Utopia. Dweller, maybe if you need to make it. Again, like I said, when I was playing the Toon Mermaids, this was way more optimal. I just felt like I was going into it more, but it is just like, I mean, if you're going to be making a rank 4, typically that's the one you're making, unless you're trying to beat over something. And then Tornado Dragon and Emerald are just kind of there for names, but like I said, you're not really dipping into the extra deck too much unless you're banishing cards face down. Play Big Eye, a Draco Sack, and the Harmonizer, just generic rank 7s that tend to be good. Big Eye's always probably one of the more threatening ones, but then Draco Sack for spot removal. This is one of those just weird niche cards that I was going through what I had for, I mean, I've got quite a few rank 7s, but this one just seemed like it could have potential utility. I mean, you've got your Orcos matchups and weird graveyard reliant stuff, so it's just a nice little tech choice, I guess. Never made it. This is the actual, like, good card of the extra deck. There are so many times, you could honestly play 3 if you wanted to be smart about it. I just have the 2 at the moment. But there are so many games where you are poking and say you have like 2 Toon monsters, one of them being BLS typically, but you just don't get that extra damage, and Flare Dragon puts your opponent on a really hard clock because they now have X amount of card effects that they can play, and if they don't out this card, you just get to swing directly again next turn. So this is just a great pressuring card, and it is, I mean, you go first and you can get this out. I mean, there's been times where I can set up like a BLS in defense mode and then still make this and maybe some back row, but if you, I mean, this, I don't know, just the pressure that this seems to put on your opponent, especially with so many combo decks. Your opponent might be down to 4,000 life points before they even go into their battle phase, which can just be detrimental if they don't kill you, because they're just making themselves incredibly easy to chip away at for game. And then one Dingerisu, one Ding Ding, in case you need that extra protection, and for some reason the 2 BLSs you have on field aren't getting it done. But there have been instances where I've like comic-handed somebody's monster and then used it to go into Dingerisu and stuff. So you kind of want to give yourself a variety of options that you can go into, especially between 4s, 7s, and I would say the 8, just in case you need to be able to overlay when taking your opponent's monster. But absolutely Flare Dragon, 2 if not 3 of these in the extra deck. And that's a fact, Jack. Oh, and then of course you've got to play like the appropriate tokens for your extra deck that you never go into. Side deck, this is, I mean, this is more geared going second deck, so my side deck is kind of, I don't know, it doesn't have to be this by any means, but this is what I've been working with. 3 no material for Numeron, but that's if you think that you can even beat, I don't know. Yeah, 3 no material. 2, there can only be 1. I think if I switch to a going first stun variant, I'm going to be like maining 3 of these and then just seeing what kind of floodgates we can work in there. This seems to synergize really well with the deck because none of your monsters are the same type, so, and this just absolutely hinders so many different decks right now. 1 Metaverse, just to tutor out what we're playing on the side, and if you're going first, this can chain out your Toon Kingdom if they get rid of 1 to keep your monsters protected. 1 Toon World, I'll actually show you why we're playing this. It's kind of stupid, but it's like this dumb little lock I came up with. 2 Cosmic, 3 Prohibition. This is to call Cosmic, or I guess, I mean, I was trying it out and it actually helped against my Necros matchup. But typically, if your opponent knows that you're playing Toons, Cosmic Cyclone is one of the best cards that they can use to out it, so I cite in Prohibition to call that and help give myself a little bit of protection. And then we are playing 3 Mystic Mine. This is the first time I will ever consider playing this card, and I actually drew it multiple times. Tuesday night, never had the guts to play it because I still think the card's just degenerate and stupid as hell, but there is like a little lock that I've figured out, like while playtesting online. It is kind of nasty. I mean, it's a going second lock, but you cite in the Toon World, Mystic Mines, you can do the Metaverse too and stuff, but if your opponent sets up a board with multiple monsters, instead of going for Toon Kingdom, you go for the Mystic Mine. If you can drop the Mystic Mine and lock them out of more than, or lock them out and they have at least 2 monsters on the field, you can search your Toon World and just sit on Toon World, summon a Toon monster, and just poke directly, and they can't do anything if they can't get rid of, if they're sitting on at least 2 monsters and they can't out the mine. The Toon World still allows your monster to attack directly, and you can just kind of sit there and poke. I've done it. It's really dirty. It's pretty stupid. It's kind of what you would expect from a Toon deck. I mean, it's like the most niche little lock ever, but it does work, and it is kind of fun. So if you really want to piss some people off at locals, go for it. But that's my Toon deck for going second variant. Very fun to play. I'd highly recommend buying it. I mean, the art on this deck is just fantastic. I mean, anyone that's a fan of it knows that this is like just one of the most fan favorite decks. It's a classic. So by all means, pick it up, try it out. Let me know what you guys think. If anyone wins their locals or any event with this, let me know, because I would love to know what variants people are out there actually trying to make work. So thanks for watching, guys.